I always love to see Black Plasma Studios thanking their patrons like this. The patrons are extremely helpful to BPS, and are part of the reason why they can make such awesome videos. They deserve this sort of thing. Big time. Right off the bat, we have a few wins here for the first shot alone. First of all, the setting. It's really well built, especially the portal, which fits in with the environment around it. The lighting. It's really effective in establishing this as a mysterious and intense scene. Lastly, the music. The way that music kicked in right as the shot began was awesome. And on that topic, After Infinity is always a win. Derp being in this opening scene is honestly the last thing someone could have expected, given the mood that was set up by the first shot. So I guess that's a subversion of expectations win, and Derp being out here does fit his character in BPS animations, given that he's often portrayed as curious. Those are really good textures for those orange lights. It's very reminiscent of lava. We see this sort of theme for the Drogue later on a lot. This face! The portal effects. And also the sound it makes. This long, lingering shot of the portal after Derp runs away sure does help the intensity of the scene. I like how the intense music from the portal opening scene fades into the ambient music for this one. Also, the BPS house is really well built. These posters are actually waving. Sam actually turning a page in his book is a really small detail that didn't need to be included, but it was animated anyway, so win for the effort. The set design for Sam's room deserves a win. BPS quite often does a good job on facial expressions, like Sam's here. There's no dialogue in this animation, but the emotions can still be communicated to the viewer easily. This is especially impressive considering BPS uses arguably outdated and under-detailed facial rigs that should make it harder for them to show expressions. Remember what I said about the facial expressions, because the same pretty much applies to the body movements. Everything about Varric's character design is awesome. The skin itself, the effects on the glowing orange areas of his body, and the models for the weapons he wields. As Sam charges at Varric, Varric puts away all his weapons because he knows he doesn't need them. This is foreshadowing for what happens a moment later. When Varric stops Sam's sword in midair, it reminds me of that scene from Thor Ragnarok where Hela stops Mjolnir in midair. Given that Thor Ragnarok is a great movie, the music here and the way it builds up to Varric punching Sam is so well done. And also, Sam's horrified expression. It's a good way of showing that what he's about to go up against is something unfamiliar and powerful. The way the camera moves in the two shots of Sam flying backward is amazing. The music abruptly stops just as Sam hits the ground. It's not that noticeable, but if you look closely, Sam moves around a bit while being dragged. Also, this entire shot is just chilling, especially with the music. First person shot. I love how Sam jolts around so much. It must have taken a while to animate all those movements. The scenery here is really good. There's a few things about this shot that are worth winning. The camera angle, the depth of field, and the fact that Krista is partially shown without being entirely shown to the viewer yet, which makes her seem more mysterious at first. The animation for Varric's cannon charging up is really cool. Depth of field, again. The way Krista was revealed reminds me a lot of how Abigail was revealed in Songs of War. Songs of War is awesome, so... This slow motion shot and the music fit unbelievably well. The effects on Krista and Varric's swords, as well as the sounds they make, are really neat. My god, is Varric an intense villain. The scenery here is so impressive. 5 wins. We see that at first, Krista is cautious about Sam, but she warms up to him later in the series, and that's why I ship them. Come on, I'm sure some of you watching this do as well. The animations for when the train stops and Sam and Krista jolt are pretty well done. Another scenery win. Ah yes, we have a heroic one here. These sweet Sam and Krista moments are, well, sweet. This transition into Krista's memory was really well done. Some of you might be wondering how Sam is experiencing this memory sequence as well, since he never actually experienced this memory. This isn't necessarily confirmed, but my personal headcanon is that this is a visual representation of Krista actually telling Sam what happened. Given that the animation lacks dialogue, visual storytelling is a necessary and effective substitute. When I saw Krista following her past self, it immediately reminded me of Last Gift, another one of BPS's animations. I just can't resist winning this information. Why did I say information twice? I just can't resist winning this information. What is wrong with me? Holy crap. When I saw Krista following her past self, it immediately reminded me of Last Gift, another one in BPS's animations. I just can't resist winning this animation for reminding me of things I like. This transition here shows that the place once lush with flora is now reduced to a single flower. This is a good way of showing how Albatross has turned so bleak ever since the Drogue invaded. It should be worth mentioning that the music in that scene was so emotional. The design of the Drogue mothership is awesome. Aw, I can't. These parts are so heartwarming. Yeah, this is a bad good girl moment. Sam and Krista sure make a great team as well. Whoa, sick entrance. Even though Varric doesn't have facial expressions, he still looks visibly pissed. The way the music picks up here is just insane. Given that Sam, the animator, by his own admission, isn't necessarily a professional in fight animation, the sword fight here is quite impressive by his standards. And now Varric seems confused, at being spared most likely, despite still having no facial expressions. This here is a major point of development for Krista's character. Because of how horrible life has been for her since the Drogue invasion, it's clear she wants to leave to Earth, because it's safer. But when it comes down to escaping or saving Sam, someone she's grown to care about in this animation, she picks the latter. Therefore, this scene is very good for her character and development. The music here is so awesome! Poor Sam, this face actually brings tears to my eyes. Words cannot describe how crushing it is when the portal key fails and Sam's hope goes away once again. And then it's really heartwarming to see him hopeful again. It shows the viewer that he has an idea. Oh my god, the lighting in the shot! There's a brief moment of pause that tricks the viewer into thinking the key won't turn on. This is an intense way to end the video, with a cliffhanger, as the viewer is uncertain what Sam will do next now that he's reactivated the key. It's a great way of raising anticipation for the sequel.